Okay, here we go. So, what is the name of the point of concurrency? Again, what does point of concurrency mean? Where what? All the three lines what? Intersect. All right, points of concurrency just mean where all the lines intersect. So if I draw the three altitudes, I will create the what? Orthocenter. Thank you for whoever said that. Ortho, all right, is perpendicular. All right, altitude is perpendicular. All right, that's kind of how I remember it. So orthocenter is the altitude. What is the name of the point of concurrency of the medians? Can anybody tell me? Centroid. All right, people, very good. All right, circumcenter was the perpendicular bisectors. And the incenters was the what? Angle bisector. Angle bisector. Everybody happy with that? All right, let's check out number 3. Name the longest segment. Now, if you were looking at it, you would just say, obviously, what? If I could just take all the degrees away, what? Well, maybe it's not obvious. What is it? BC is obviously the correct answer. Oh, yeah, this should be up here. Man, that's my typo. Fix that, please. All right, name the longest segment in, it should be quadrilateral, A, B, C, D. I need to fix that. Sorry, it should be quadrilateral, A, B, C, D. Now, you are right. So here's the point of this question. So just listen. BD is the largest side in triangle ABD. Does everybody agree with that? And then if you look at the other triangle, BC is the largest side on that triangle. Does everybody agree with that? So because of that, BC must be larger than BD. Therefore, BC was supposed to be the correct answer. All right. So again, just make sure you change that. All right, make sure you change that for me. I need to correct this. All right. Next. PS is the perpendicular bisector of QR. So let's draw QR. Here's QR just to make sure. And PS is the perpendicular bisector. Now, what I like to do is I like to try to draw the bisector, but don't make it anything special. In other words, it doesn't cut it right in the middle of QR is not. I mean, PS is not. So if this segment right here is PS, and that's a perpendicular bisector, everybody knows here, this, and this. That's what you're supposed to mark. So what's true about PQ and QS? What? PS is the perpendicular bisector of QR. And QR is the perpendicular. Man, I can't even read. Sorry, guys. It is the perpendicular bisector. So that is true. Sorry, guys. Does everybody see what I'm saying? They're perpendicular bisectors of each other, which now means that this is equal to this. All right, now it makes more sense. What's true about PQ if I were to draw PQ? And if I were to draw QS, what's true? They are congruent. Thank you. All right, since I messed that up, does anybody need any explanation on that? Everybody's good? And so now you just set them equal, right? 5x minus 12 equals 2x plus 9. 3x equals 21, x equals 7. Now, you have to remember on your test, make yourself a note. It just says here, find x, right? But it could say find QS or find PQ. All right, make yourself a note. Answer the right question. Answer the right question. All right, I'm not a big fan of this question, but the exterior has to be what? Yes, but it wants to write an inequality. So because it wants to write an inequality and I don't know what this measure is, we know what's true about x. Thank you very much. Come on, guys. Remember now, pretend like you're taking a test here. You got to think about something. Don't just write my answers down. X has to be what? Greater than 50. But we also know it has to be less than what? Yeah, less than 180. All right, that's pretty easy. All right, if you understand the context of the question. They're referring to inequalities, so you want to write an inequality. This exterior angle is always greater than the individual parts. All right, anybody have any questions with that? All right, let's knock out what, Tanner?
How would it be x is less than 130? Because you can't really have a never mind.
You're actually, I think that's a good point. Because 50 degrees, so let me say, if we said this was y, x plus y has to, yeah, that's why I don't like these questions, to be honest. X, not x plus y, but y plus 50. Has to equal x. Yeah, 130. Yeah, actually, I think you are correct, because if this is 130, yeah, that's actually good. Very good, Tanner. It can be 30, less than 130. All right, very good. Very good. Yeah, I don't like that. So probably not going to be on the test. All right, here we go. Let's knock out number 6. All right, all the angles that are greater than 1. What are the angles greater than 1? I like 7. And I like angle 5. Very nice. 7 is the what? 7 is the exterior angle, correct? So we agree with that? And 5 is also the exterior angle. And besides the fact those are vertical. Everybody's good? All right. An advertising company is designing a corporate flag in the shape of an isosceles triangle. The right-hand edge of the company logo will be placed at the centroid of angle ABC. The length of the altitude CD is 24 inches. So what is DL? Do you remember what DL is? If it's the centroid? What is it, David?
Like else is like x2, x2x, like.
Yes, that's right. This is x, this is 2x, and the whole thing is what? 3x. Right? That's what we got here, x, 2x, and 3x. So what is L? How far away is L from D? Go ahead. Yeah, it is 8. Does everybody agree with that? Right, now again, you see, does everybody understand what I'm saying? Like, this is just a fact, right? There's no math there. It's just, you have to remember, whenever you have the centroid, all right, the centroid is x unit away from the side of the triangle and 2x away from the vertex. That's what that means. So we said 8 inches. All right, so now we have a centroid. YC is 15. So here we go. YC is 15. Then what's YZ? So you're saying from here to 30, right? 30. Right, because again, the centroid is the what? The median, right? And the median goes from the vertex to the side, and it bisects the side. Do we understand that, right? These are just things you have to know about the words. Okay, perpendicular bisector, what did we say that was? Circumcenter. Thank you. All right, M is the centroid. XM is 8. XM is 8. What is MA? 4. What is XA? XA is what? 12. Thank you. Do we know that X are the centroids congruent? I mean, are the medians congruent? In other words, is this line the same as this line? Is the same as this line? Are those congruent? And you can just look at it and say, obviously, what? No, they're not. All right. The only time they would be congruent if it was an equilateral triangle. All right. If you forgot the definition of a word, just tell me. We'll review it. Centroid. What is the name of the point that is 2/3 the way from each vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side? Go ahead. I don't care. Who knows? We got some studying to do, guys. What? It is. Tell me what it is, Tanner. Centroid. Yeah, of course. That's what we're just talking about. Centroid, right? Centroid. All right. Quadrilateral ABCD, given that CD is the perpendicular bisector of AB and AB is the perpendicular bisector of CD. Now, if I were you, what I would do is right off the bat, I would just go, that's equal, and these are right angles. So what's true about all 4 of those triangles? Side, angle, side. Thank you very much. They are congruent. All right. So how do I figure out the value of Y? Go ahead, Tanner.
Yeah, so the equation, so it's like y plus 1
Y plus 1.
equals 2y minus 3.
Beautiful. And so what's Y?
Y 4.
Yeah, Y is 4. All right. So if Y is 4, how do I figure out what X is?
Then we do y, but in place of y with 4, so it's 2x plus 7 equals 5.
Yes.
And so then it's x equals -1.
X equals -1. I'm pretty happy with that. Anybody have any questions with that? Okay, now we're talking about the quadrilateral here. All right. So I got it right this time. So now let's look at let's just do this. Let's look at triangle PQS. Right, look at triangle PQS. What's the shortest segment? What did you think?
PQ,
Why?
because like opposite to.
Yeah, opposite of 56, right? Because 56 is the smallest angle, then PQ is the shortest, right? Now, if I said, what's the shortest segment in the quadrilateral? Can you guys tell me? It seemed like QS. Why do you think QS? It's opposite 51. Okay, so look, once again, guys, you're looking at two separate triangles. Do we agree? So in that triangle, which one's the smallest side? Definitely what?
Q.
QS, right? But now if we look at this triangle, what's the smallest in that? PQ, right?
Mm.
So out of those two, which one's the smallest? I'm not understanding why you guys aren't seeing this. If I ask you about the red triangle, which one is the smallest? If I ask you about the blue, you would say what?
PQ.
Therefore, what's true about the relationship between PQ and QS? PQ is less, right? It just so happens that QS is shared with both triangles, correct? So it's the smallest in the bigger triangle, correct?
Mhm.
And QP is the smaller out of QS. Do you agree? Therefore, PQ would be the smallest segment of that quadrilateral. Everybody's good with that? All right, so now what's the largest segment of QRS? What is it? QR. Now, would you agree if I said what's the largest of the blue triangle, you would say what? What? Of the blue triangle, which one would be the largest? QS, right? Is everybody good? QS, right? So if I said out of those two triangles, or out of the quadrilateral, then which one would be the greatest? You would tell me what? It's the same problem now. QR, right? It's the same problem. QR and QS overlap. So because QS is the larger in the blue and QR is larger in the red, the blue must be bigger, or the red must be bigger than the blue. All right, listen, that's definitely on the test, guys. So make sure you understand that. All right, let's look at VUW. VUW. What's the smallest angle? Come on, guys, help me. Angle what? Angle U. Find the angle with the greatest measure in UWX. Angle X. Right. Very easy. Everybody's good? All right, now what was the inequality for this? What was the inequality for this? Cooper?
Greater than 3.
Greater than what?
3,
Why 3?
because if it was 2, then you can't really have a triangle. Because,
But could it be 2.1?
oh, well, could be 2.1.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So we just say it's greater than the difference. What's the difference?
2,
2. And it's
less than
less than the sum. So it'd be less than what?
16.
Greater than 2, less than 16. Everybody's good with that? All right, let's knock out 19 real quick. Which of the following sets of numbers can be the lengths and sides of a triangle? So let's just highlight the ones. Is A?
No.
What about B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. What about C?
No.
Oh, square root of 5 plus square root of 8, square root of 13. So let's pretend like we don't know what the square root of 5 is, square root of 8, and square root of 13. Square root of 5 is between what two integers? Come on, guys. 2 and 3. Come on now. These are good questions. Square root of 8 is between what? 2 and 3 also, right? And square root of 13 is between 3 and 4, right? So does that make a triangle? If you couldn't use a calculator, can you tell me, does that make a triangle?
Yeah.
Right, because if you did the lowest for 5, right? That'd be 2. The lowest for 8 would be what? 2. So add those together, right? And 13 is less than 4, right? Everybody understand the logic there? So definitely. All right.
Okay.
What about E? Because the square root of 2 is, oh, well, this one's actually kind of close. Square root of 2, I think, is 1.414. Square root of 3, I think, is like 1.71. Square root of 11 is 3. Well, I think that's really close. I think square root of 11 is like 3.1 or 3.2.
On the test we'll be able to use it.
Yeah, use your calculator. Now take your calculator out. Let's double check that. Now just type out square root of 2 plus square root of 3. And then that should be like 3.12, right? 3.146. And now do square root of 11.
3.316.
Yeah. So is that a yes or a no? What is it? Definitely, if this was 3.3, then it would be a what? See, that's what I'm saying. It was too close to tell. But you guys can tell me now, yes or no?
No.
No. 3.1 is not greater than 3.3. The two smaller sides, all right, the sum of the two smaller sides has to be greater. What about F? Definitely what?
It kind of depends, because like what if I said 1? Then it would just be like an equilateral triangle.
Why is that?
Because if it's all the sides are 1, then
But all the sides aren't 1. It's 1, 2x, and 3x. The sides are in a ratio of 1x, 2x, and 3x.
oh wait, yeah.
So is it possible to have a triangle in a ratio of 1 to 2 to 3? Why not? Yeah, x plus 2x is not greater than 3x. All right, that's a good explanation. X plus 2x is not greater than 3x. So that's definitely a no. And what about x, and 1.8x?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely yes, because 2x is greater than 1.8x. All right. So what's true about angle 1 and angle 2? Without even hesitating, everybody's going to tell me that angle 1 is what? Less than. And if you want, that's the Hinge theorem, correct? Even though it doesn't require much thought here. The two sides are congruent to two sides of another triangle. The opposite side is greater, therefore the angle is greater. All right, what's true about AB and DE? AB is what? Less than. All right, what about GH and F, right? Inequality about length. Oh, yeah. So what is that? What's the inequality, someone? For this guy right here. Help me out now. This one good, a little good thinking problem. It has to be less than what, guys? Oh, wait a minute. Now we're not talking about an angle measure, guys. We're talking about the side length. Can we look at the Hinge theorem first? Look at the Hinge theorem. Help me out. Tell him. Nope. Even better than that.
Greater than, 3 and,
Well, no. But listen, I said, look at the Hinge theorem first. Look at the Hinge theorem.
oh, it's gotta be greater than 7.
Yeah, greater than 7. I messed that up anyway. It's greater than 7. Not less than. Somebody see it's greater than 7? And then you're correct. And then it would have to be less than what? I think you're right now, Katie. What was it? Yeah, less than 15. Yes.
You want basically.
Yeah, so here again, we have this angle and this angle, right?
Yeah.
If this side is 7, that means this side has to be greater than 7.
Mhm.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And so now the third side has to be less than the sum of these. Do you agree with that? The third side of a triangle is greater than the difference and less than the sum. Katie at first said it's 3 this, and she was almost correct. Because she just added 9 plus 6 and subtracted 9 and 6. Right? You see it, right?
Yeah.
But we also know from the Hinge theorem it has to be less than what?
7.
Has to be less than 7. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so that was kind of tricky. All right, here we go. So look at all these guys right here. Which one of these, I know it's kind of confusing. Which one of these could be considered a perpendicular bisector?
ML.
ML, right? ML is a perpendicular bisector. What's the angle bisector? What's the angle bisector?
JH.
Yeah, JH. But it's really HJ because it's a ray. What's the median? What's the median? GK. I would write that down if you're not sure. And again, that's a segment. And then what would be the altitude? What would be the altitude? Tell him, Tanner. Now, to me, if I were doing, if I were, I should have tried to dot this line. That might be better. Right, does everybody see IN would be an altitude?
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. IN would be an altitude, right? Because it's the segment that's perpendicular to the opposite side. All right, so again, if you don't know those, you don't see those, let me know. Everybody's okay with that? Yes, sir. What's the matter?
You just go over altitude.
Altitude is all it is. When you draw a triangle, I'm just going to draw a quick triangle over here. All right. So this right here, I'm going to draw altitudes now. This one is an easy altitude, right? This altitude is not so easy because the altitude's where? On the outside of the triangle. Does that make sense now, right? And the same with this guy right here. I'm trying to draw something perpendicular to be way over here. Right, so you'd have to extend what? You'd have to extend this out this way, right? And then extend this way, right? You see what I'm saying, right? So those are the altitudes because they form right angles. All right, I really want to get to find the coordinates of the centroid. Let's jump to 26 for a quick second. Now we can use a formula, but I think I'm going to say on the test, I really don't want you to use a formula. All right. Bless you, bless you, bless you. All right, you can check your formula. So does anybody remember how to find the formula? It's or what it is?
It's 1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3.
Yeah, right. So if we had to do this 18, 12, 12 divided by 3 is 4. 12 plus 6 is 18, 21, 7, right? So we agree that's just 4, 7, right? Now, what I want to do though is we're going to practice finding it, you know, because you need help finding or writing the equations of lines. So I'm going to say this guy over here is -6, 3, and this is F. 4, 12 is over here. This is D. And then this is 14, 6. All right, now just be careful. That's it. All right. So centroid is median, correct? So why is that a median right there? Yeah, it's in the middle, right? So I need this point right here, guys. Please tell me what that point is. Tell me.
4.
Yeah, 4 and 9/2. Is everybody okay with that? So what's the equation of the line? Someone tell me the equation. Come on, guys. I'm a little nervous about this for the test. What's the equation of that line? I need to find what first? Oh, wow. This one's kind of a silly problem. We got kind of lucky. So what's the equation of this purple line? Notice here, 4 and 4, right? So we got kind of an easy problem. So that's x equals 4. Does everybody agree with that? Right? Everybody noticing that? M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right, good question. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's draw this one now. Let's draw, no, not green, orange. This guy from here to here. So I need help with this point right there. What's that point gonna be? Bless you. Tell us.
-1, 15 over 2.
-1, comma 15 over 2. Thank you very much. No, that's not a horizontal line. Good. All right, so I need help with the slope. Come on, guys. The slope of the orange is equal to come on, come on, come on, come on. What's the slope of the orange? You guys got calculators? Come on, 15 over 2 minus 6. 3 over what? Okay, -3 over 2 over over 15. Thank you, guys. Now, come on, guys, remember what we talked about all last week. You got to speak up, participate. If you're just writing down my answers, it's not good. Tell me. Because she did 6 minus 15 over 2, and 6 is 12 over 2. 12 over 2 minus 15 over 2 is -3 over 2. Yes, that's what I did, actually. Right, but then you just get 3 over 2 over -15. Do you agree? All right. So now, what is -3 over 2 divided by 15? Well, yes, -1/10. Everybody okay with that? Hopefully you didn't have to do calculator on that, but. So your equation is y minus 6 equals -1/10 times x minus 14. And now all I have to do is plug 4 in for x. 4 in for x. So that's -10. That'd be 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. So if you solve that out, you'll get the correct answer. All right, please take a look at what you don't know. All right, tomorrow we'll just continue. Try to get as much done as you can. All right. There's a lot of practice problems here. I just put a lot of practice problems. All right, I'm going to post it right now.
Oh, also,